For a stuck creative, the world really changes in this stage, stage 4, action. Let's take a look at where we've come so far, what stages we've passed through. We started with being not really thinking much about becoming unstuck or going on and activating our creativity and doing something with it. But then there comes a time that we're pulled into really thinking through what is our potential, what's the possibilities for us, what risk are we willing to take, what things are we willing to learn, and we ponder, we contemplate. But again, some of us do resolve and move forward at least enough to say, let me test out some of these ideas. Let me test out some of the tools and the methods. Let me test out a bit of the community that's around this particular form of creativity. Let me try it on, see what it feels like, how well it fits. We have so much to learn in this stage because we've decided to take on a project or group of projects that have a specific beginning, middle, and end. And we need to polish our basic skills. We also need to learn the requirements and polish new skills that are project related. For instance, if we're a writer, we may know how to organize and write well, but we may not know how to produce an online book or online course. So we need to learn about those requirements, how they're presented, how they're packaged, and then beyond that, we need to learn from our creative field who's doing online books, who's doing online courses, and surrounding that, we can do this in isolation, but I strongly recommend it's much more powerful, plus it's faster to be part of the community, either online, reaching out to others who are doing similar sort of things, or through Meetup, or through other means, being around other people doing similar sort of things, so we can ask them specific questions as well as observe them how they tackle problems. A lot to learn in this stage, and that's one of the reasons why this stage is so challenging. All that's moving. At the same time, I think the real goal, all those skills we need to learn for sure, but running in the background is, I think, the overarching goal for this stage, which is learning how to work. Developing and learning the skills of working. In this stage, we have to bring in tools. We really need to focus our work, and to do so, we need to bring in tools that are available to us. I think there are 3 types of tools. The first one is called cultivated inner qualities. We know what they are, we've used them before, we just need to be aware of them, sharpen them up a bit, and keep applying them. And that is the inner qualities of persistence and focus and concentration and willpower, for instance. The second form of tools are what I call mind states. That sounds very psychological. Indeed, it is. But we all know if we can get our head in a particular place, oftentimes that's enough to help us see things differently and work differently and be more creative in our ideas. If we can get our heads and hearts in the right place, things start to happen. We can cultivate those states, we can be aware of them, we can grow those states. Lastly are the tools that most people are familiar with, what I call support tools. These are the schedules, these are the deadlines, these are the goals, a checklist of tasks. Here is a very brief list, just a sampling of those support tools. I'm very much aware around support tools there's a lot of resistance, a lot of pulling back, a lot of, well, I do enough of that already, or I've done enough, I don't want to do any more of that. I totally understand it, but I don't see any way around at least using some of them for a while to get to the level of production that we want to have, to get to the quality of being unstuck and keeping unstuck. But I'm thinking, and through personal experience and through the experience of others, that perhaps some of our discomfort, and here's a list, a scale of discomfort going downwards, that the level of discomfort just might decrease the more we continue to use the tools, the more we master the tools. We might go from, at the top, hating it and really pulling away and really resisting work to, okay, it sucks, but I can see their effectiveness, and I'm going to go ahead and use them. To me, stinks. Using the tool is less than hating and sucking. And maybe we'll get to a point where it's just, ugh, I don't want to have to use these tools tonight or this week, and maybe we get to a point, okay, I don't want to use them, but I'm going to just go ahead and get my creative work going and done. Here is the upward trend. If we stick with using the tools, the discomfort decreases, and we actually, I think, and from experience, get much more comfortable with the tools. We may go from, I mainly use them, but I skip using them from time to time. Maybe we work our way up to, I'm not going to fight it anymore. I'm going to use the tools to, I'm using the tools now of goal setting and steps checklist and all the rest. I'm doing it now without I'm thinking about it. I don't necessarily love them, but I don't necessarily hate them or love them. I just use them moving, and I just move forward. In time, if we keep at it, I think we're going to see without the support tools, we couldn't get to where we want to go, and the support tools are valuable. We need to travel through discomfort, various levels, get to a neutral place, then start to work our way back up, which is naturally going to happen if we keep using the tools and if we master those tools. Stage 4 is unique because now we have to make commitment. That wasn't so much required in any of the other stages, but now we need to bring up the commitment needed to hold on to an idea and start to shape it. And out of that commitment, if we hope to get it done, we're going to have to persist at it. We can't just come up with the idea, get it started. We have to persist through the middle to the end. Persistence needs to be mastered in stage 4. And to do the previous 2 steps that are required in stage 4, we need to have found an actual slot in our daily life in which we will be doing our work. Again, it doesn't have to be hours long. It could be 15 minutes that has been actually planned into our day. And we need to consistently get to that slot, get to that place where we'll be doing our work, get to that time during the day which we're doing work. Stage 4 is the time where we let ourselves accept that we're developing a different self-identity. We don't need to necessarily go out and broadcast it, but we need to see ourselves as a writer, as a jewelry maker, as a performer, and start to let that identity shape us. Even if we're early, even if we haven't completed the first project, that will give us energy, it will give us focus, will give us structure to carry us forward. So open to self-identity as a creative, allowing that to come in, developing greater confidence and comfort with it. Similar to that, this is the time to open ourselves to being reshaped by the task or by the project. Getting out of the way and saying and discovering, what does this task need of me? It needs less of me and more of something else, of a doing or of a creating or a problem solving. It doesn't need me with my first name or what I've done in the past or what my friends with. It doesn't need that. It needs what it needs, and we're open to following that thread. Stage 4 is the place where engaging at the task at hand, being there, being not in worry, not thinking too far into the future or into the past or being anywhere else, but being now in that task at hand and engaged with the project overall. So it starts to fill us to the point that we're thinking about it outside of the work period. We're struggling with it. We are also spotting opportunities, things that we may need for the project, or to see how things are connected. How previously we may have not have noticed these things, but now we were so magnetized. So from our engagement, things make sense and they start to come together. That's the big view, the introductory view of stage 4. So keep going, master stage 4, because stage 5 is all of that I've mentioned before. So keep going. Stage 5 is next.